The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a towering figure in the civil rights movement, has been surrounded by various conspiracy theories since the tragic event took place on April 4, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. King was shot and killed while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel, just a day after delivering his renowned "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech. In the aftermath, suspicions quickly arose concerning the details of the assassination and the involvement of his alleged assassin, James Earl Ray. Although Ray pleaded guilty, which meant there was no trial, he soon retracted his confession, claiming he had been coerced. Further raising eyebrows were revelations that both the FBI and CIA had conducted illegal surveillance on King, and it was even alleged that the FBI had tried to push him toward suicide. In 1979, the U.S. House Select Committee on Assassinations concluded that King's assassination was likely the result of a conspiracy, with Ray possibly acting as a scapegoat. 2 decades later, in 1999, a Memphis civil trial jury ruled unanimously that King's assassination was indeed the product of a conspiracy, potentially involving the U.S. government and a mysterious figure named Raoul. King's widow, Coretta Scott King, echoed the jury's conclusion, stating there was abundant evidence of a high-level conspiracy, and the jury further determined that organized crime and multiple levels of government agencies had been complicit, with Ray set up to take the fall. At the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, a wreath marks the spot where Martin Luther King Jr. was standing when he was assassinated. King had come to Memphis in April 1968 to lend support to a strike by African-American sanitation workers. A day after delivering his famous speech, King was standing on the second-floor balcony of the motel speaking with musician Ben Branch when the fatal shot was fired. His last words to Branch were, "Ben, make sure you play 'Take My Hand, Precious Lord' at the meeting tonight, play it real pretty." Solomon Jones, a local volunteer who often drove King during his Memphis visits, ran out after the shot was fired and told the police that he had seen someone in a thicket across the street, wearing what looked like a hood. Despite this report, city workers cleared the bushes the very next day, effectively destroying critical evidence at the crime scene. James Earl Ray, the man behind the gun? James Earl Ray, born into poverty in 1928 near St. Louis, had a troubled life long before he became known as King's assassin. After serving in West Germany post, World War II, and receiving a dishonorable discharge, Ray got into petty crime, committing small-time robberies. His criminal behavior escalated, leading to his imprisonment multiple times, including a 20-year sentence at Missouri State Penitentiary. In 1967, Ray escaped from prison in a delivery truck and went on the run. Ray claimed that after his escape he became involved with a mysterious handler named Raoul, who supposedly directed him to purchase the rifle used in King's assassination. On the afternoon of April 4th, Ray checked into a boarding house that overlooked the Lorraine Motel. Fingerprints found on the gun tied Ray to the shooting, although there were still doubts. Martin Luther King III, King's son, questioned the plausibility of Ray killing his father, and then leaving the gun at the scene, suggesting it was unlikely someone would act so carelessly. Following the assassination, Ray fled to Canada where he obtained a passport and tried to escape to Europe. He was caught in London on June 8, 1968 and extradited to the United States. In 1969, Ray pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty, receiving a 99-year prison sentence. However, he quickly retracted his guilty plea and maintained his innocence for the rest of his life, insisting that he was part of a larger conspiracy. Ray died in 1998 while serving his sentence, from complications due to hepatitis C. His ashes were spread in Ireland, a country he chose because he did not want to be buried in the U.S., citing how the government had treated him.